Good Packer Nation morning, everybody. How y'all doing out there? It's finally Thursday. We're getting there. No more Thursday night games, so we have that to calm ourselves as we hope for another weekend. But hey, Friday's on the way if you can get through Thursday. And then another big weekend of Packer football. Let me know who you are, where you're coming at me from, and we will do a little Packer Nation roll call. It's Chile. Those of you from Florida, don't get on and rub it into us right now. Yolanda's here, can't wait for the weekend. Angel says good morning to everybody. Hey there, Joe. Tucson is here. Jalen out of Louisiana, probably a little warmer down there as well. Trent is here. Virginia, good morning from El Paso, Texas. Probably warm and dry there as well. JB and Ebony are here, or Ebony. Oh, man. I'm reading it from far away. Tom is here, Jerry, Marquez, and Mike. Guys, Aaron Rodgers with another record today. How about the 8th Player of the Month award for Aaron Rodgers? We got any little love for that, I'm sure. Hey there, Peter, Jacob, Stephanie. LB says, in the house. All right. Good to have you, bro. Mad Valentine from Tucson. All right. I haven't seen a lot of Arizona. Alonzo. Clay Matthews is back. It's always good to have a star on the show. Clay, don't you have anything better to do? I think it was like a week or so ago that you had an awesome comment. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. I wish I could search these comments back because some of them are hilarious. But yeah. Anyway, good to see Keegan, Justin, Alex, and Candy is back. All right, guys. Aaron Rodgers, Player of the Month. Once again, this is his 8th time. NFL record. Yet another reason MVP voting has been the issue. All right, I'm setting the coffee down again. Here's my deal. I didn't expect to talk about this. I talked about it yesterday. But I listened over at Railbird Central. He has on Wednesdays. He's got Nathan Yonke on there from Pro Football Focus. It's an awesome interview. And it frankly, I'm glad I didn't have to follow him with my interview because he's like this understated genius of all things stats. I mean, so it's a great interview, first of all. Go check it out at Railbird Central. You can catch it on Cheesehead TV. But there's one piece of grit that is still under my craw, and I didn't expect to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it because we've got MVP. You can go ahead, put a thumbs up, heart, put hashtag MVP. Whatever you want right now while I'm going on a little bit of a, it's not a mic drop. I think it is a mic drop. All right, here's the deal. All right, guys, all of the analysts are missing the forest for the trees. They are looking so deep. And I wish I would have done the math before my interview with Brian Crew because absolutely, it's probably out there. I haven't seen everything, so I'm assuming some stuff. So if one of the analysts out there has factored in total points scored by quarterbacks into this MVP race, I haven't heard of it yet. They talk about number of touchdowns. A touchdown means absolutely nothing if it didn't mean scoring 6 points. We all know the old adage of what wins championships. Defense wins championships. Well, there's a reason that adage is around, but it's certainly not literally true. Points wins championships because points is the foundational way to determine winners and losers in games. Now, I know maybe it's not flashy, but when you have a handful of guys that are close race, and Yonke gives the MVP to Matt Ryan. And that's fine. And I will fully admit I am a total Aaron Rodgers homer because I'm a Packer fan, right? But listen to this. When you have a bunch of guys that are grouped together and no one finds out that Aaron Rodgers, compared to Matt Ryan, has 40 more points, is responsible for 40 more points than him. Matt Ryan has run the ball across the end zone line 0 times. Now, Aaron Rodgers hasn't done that the most either. Because Dak Prescott has 6 and Aaron only has 4. But Dak Prescott is only responsible for 174 points for his team. Because he's got Zeke Elliott. Absolutely no one that I know of has even factored this in. And Phillips got responsible for 87% of all points. Points win ball games, folks. If you're looking for a most valuable player, why is nobody talking about the total number of points they're responsible for? Everybody mentions, if you're going to talk about Dak Prescott, you're going to talk about his athletic ability, how he's dangerous with his legs. Aaron Rodgers, not so much. I mean, we're talking about it. Matt Ryan, 0. And I give all the, I think Matt Ryan deserves all the credit in the world. But when you're looking for something to separate the pack, and if you don't find anything, go ahead, have the argument. But it's here. It's right here in front of you. And all the analysts are just missing the fort. You hear this, and the reason is because it doesn't make for as great a discussion. Because frankly, boom, it's just discussion over, guys. And you better believe next time after Aaron gets his ring this year and brings the trophy home, and if he doesn't win it, next year I'm going to pull this stat out before everybody else, because I'm the only one who, wants to face the fact that it is the most important thing in a football game is who's scoring the cussing points. Didn't expect to talk about this morning. Mike says Cowboys fans are watching. Good. Listen up. Dak Prescott, 174. You got nothing. Dak isn't even in the conversation as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of people. Matt Ryan, Tom Brady with an unbelievable year. But then, Tom, and again, now you get into but Tom Brady did this, but Aaron Rodgers had a slow start. So let's quit talk. I would hate to be in a boardroom with analysts trying to make a decision on something. Can somebody come up with something that separates a guy from somebody else that's extremely important, that matters, that points to MVP, and that one player is head and shoulders above the rest? The name is Aaron Rodgers, folks. And I'm no analyst and I'm no expert. So obviously nobody's going to be, calling me up on the phone saying, thank you for directing me toward, so you could help my decision making. The fact of the matter is, I am a decision maker. And you look for this stuff, you find out what separates somebody from the pack. Aaron Rodgers is the league MVP. So, with that said, it's a happy day, guys. It's Thursday. We're getting there. And Jacob is laying it on. That's right. LMAO on both Dak and Zeke. Isn't that, if you really look at it, the reason that quarterbacks win this award all the time is because they have the ball so much that they're responsible for almost all the scoring in these games. This is why it is so difficult for a running back to win this award. It happens. This is why also, if defense wins championships, points win championships, defensive players struggle so hard to win this award. Because it's hard to give it out against a guy who's scoring 150 plus points for their team. Which goes back to my point. Hashtag MVP. It's Aaron Rodgers, guys. You can call me a homer all you want. You have to find something to argue this point. You have to defeat this point. And again, I didn't even do the math. I scratched this out. I wasn't even thinking it was important at the time. I just wanted to look at it because Aaron had scored, several rushing touchdowns. How about during the slow period? And I'm going to do a post. I'm going to analyze this. How about during the Aaron Rodgers had a slow start? How about him running the ball in when none of the wide receivers were open? In the red zone, when the receivers can't get open, Aaron Rodgers takes to the ground. He's got 4 of them. It's another 24 points. Where's Tom Brady in that discussion? Where's Matt Ryan in that discussion? So by my tally, Aaron's, like I said yesterday, 264 points. with 90 more points than Dak. And Matt Ryan, the closest is Drew Brees, who was a phenomenal quarterback. But are you going to give it to a guy whose team can't even make the playoffs? And I don't think Drew is quite, up there with Ryan and Brady anyway. Ryan, 228 and like 40 plus, gosh. Yeah, the guy had a great year passing the ball. But doesn't that point to, how many points is he responsible for? It all wants to lead you into other discussions. And those are the discussions that are maybe more interesting because then people get in arguments. Because when there's no argument, nobody wants to listen because it's no fun. But at some point, you have to come down to it. And this needs to be factored in when people cast their vote. I don't have one and never will, and no one will care what I think. Except maybe you guys. But that's one thing. People's opinion don't change the facts. I haven't heard anything. But at any rate, and all of this argumentation, please understand, it's not against Yankee, and that was a fantastic interview. I recommend it highly because I love listening to him go break it down. That's what he does at Pro Football Focus. That the statement is for the whole analyst crew. You see it everywhere. It's the same exact arguments everywhere you go without anybody making without anything clear coming up. So I'm trying to make it clear. Maybe it's only clear to Packer fans. But we got a lot of Aaron Rodgers for MVPs up here. And of course we know that is not our ultimate goal. It's not Aaron Rodgers' ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is number one, to win a game on Sunday. Anybody got a little love for winning a game against the Giants on Sunday? Good morning, Banks. I don't know if you can never tell if it's your first name on Facebook. But if your first name is Banks, that's awesome. Or even if it's a nickname, that's really cool. I like that. Giselle is here. Yeah, even with the slow start, Giselle says, better than most quarterbacks, we've got to be spoiled. And we are. And even with slow starts, he was just the best quarterback. If you want to talk about the fundamentals of this game, Aaron Rodgers is it. You're a little hot. All right, so, yesterday we talked about, and I stand on it, I will watch this game, and I watched the previous meeting between the Packers and the Giants. This game is going to be determined largely by the Packers' defensive front. All the talk is about the cornerback situation. So yesterday I talked about that, and I stand firm on that. This game is going to stand in the defensive sense. It's going to be what the defensive front can do. Morning, MJ. But I didn't want to make it sound like I wasn't concerned about the cornerback situation, and that wasn't going to be important because we are going to look for that at least that one interception, hopefully. Eli Manning, right? Alexander's making a good point on it's the flip side of the coin. The 240 passes with no interceptions that Aaron had. That's actually a great point because it's the flip side of the coin, right? Quarterbacks can score. You could argue, and this would be an argument for when Favre was MVP, most likely. If you tallied up his points, he could be head and shoulders above the rest. However, if you throw interceptions and they account for points, that's the flip side of the coin. So let me ask you this. Thumbs up if Aaron Rodgers wins when you factor in interceptions and the points that they don't give up, which is a great point by Alexander. And that's one thing I'll add to that analysis next time. But give me a thumbs up if you think Aaron Rodgers still wins if we factor in interceptions. I mean, come on, guys. I know you got to talk. These guys talk for a living and make good money doing it. But the answer's right in front of you, and you missed it because you're digging so deep. And Jeff is saying we need Daniels and Guyan to stop the run, absolutely, and Perry Matthews and Peppers and company to get after Eli. And that's exactly right. As soon as that happens, because listen, guys, we didn't have Randall for the initial meeting. And I'm not saying we're not more banged up in the defensive backfield. But if LaTroy Guyan, man, I didn't even look up the injury report. Not LaTroy Guyan. If Ladarius Gunter can play and go, We're going to be fine. I would like to see Micah Hyde not have to play the outside, and I would definitely don't want Morgan Burnett to have to play that linebacker position much. But if we can get that pass rush on, Eli Manning is going to make some mistakes, folks. And if Eli Manning makes some mistakes, hey, we could see we could see Bryce or see who's still healthy. Bryce, somebody like that, kind of flash something in this game. Wouldn't that be great? Somebody must have made a comment about Skip Bayless. What did Skip? Oh, is it about how Skip Bayless is always on Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, Skip. 264 points, buddy. And I guarantee he will never touch on that subject. I hope Shannon Sharp does at some point. Why don't these guys listen to me? I'm expecting a phone call. Well, I'm expecting a phone call to be offered a job right now. What I'm really expecting a phone call is threatening me that Guido's going to come down with the cigar cutters after my fingers if I don't shut my mouth. Because I just blew everybody's argument out of the water. And the reason they're not talking about it is because it ends the discussion. All right, guys. Let's talk about the injury report. We talked about, and this was a big one. Guys, it's not the injuries necessarily. Every team has them. It's when you stack injuries at the same position. That's why everybody's so scared about the defensive backfield right now. Well, that and the fact that Eli Manning has some weapons. The combination, obviously. But yeah, we stacked some, not only on the defense, not only the cornerback situation, but also on the offensive line with Bulaga going out and then Spriggs on the list. Brian Bulaga, full participant, guys. Can I get any love? I am so stoked right now. Can I get any love for Brian Bulaga, full participant? And they're not going to have JPP in this game, guys. MVP Aaron, here's the deal. Let's do this. Every time I say MVP Aaron Rodgers' name, I'm going to put MVP in front of MVP Aaron Rodgers' name, okay? So if that bugs you, if you've watched this show, we do this stuff from time to time. But yeah, Brian Bulaga is back. Can you imagine how many points MVP Aaron Rodgers is going to have in this game and the protection MVP Aaron Rodgers can attain? The Giants they are playing better defense. I will give you that. They are playing better defense. But the personnel is the same. And you got to look at who they came up against to some extent. But the Giants could not get pressure on MVP Aaron Rodgers the first time around. I think this team takes it up a notch. And my biggest concern was if we didn't have Brian Bulaga, I'd be okay. But then Jason Spriggs is dinged up as well. Even if he can go and he's not 100%, that could be trouble. Excuse me. But let's see. Bulaga, full participant. Randall Cobb was a limited participant. Coach McCarthy talked about that. He was going to try some things, and then they'll kind of see how it goes. I'm still a little concerned. I think he's like Brian Bulaga. I mean, wild horses aren't going to keep him away from this game, is what I think. I honestly think that, and I think he's going to be a monster. He had a monster game the first time around. He can feel it. They didn't have an answer for him. It was Randall Cobb in the initial meeting against the Giants that the Giants had no answer for. It wasn't Jordy Nelson. But now Jordy is rolling. And I think Cobb will play. But I am concerned. There's just been so little said. This is one of those, this is my concern is, I don't know. I'm worried that he's going to have off-season surgery or something. Anyway, concern for Randall's health, mainly because he's an awesome guy. We want to have him on the field. But if he can get on the field, I think he's going to have a good day. J-Ron Elliott, limited participant. TJ Lang, limited. Clay Matthews, full participant. Julius Peppers did not participate, but it wasn't injury related. So no, we don't have to suck the air out of Green Bay right now because holy smokes. Want Julius to be able to play in this one. Nick Perry was limited with the hand. Probably precautionary. Nick Perry's anybody got any love for Nick Perry out there? Having a fantastic year. If we would have had him, man, I wish we could have had him the whole year. Nick Perry is he's playing great, great football right now. Randall was a limited participant. So again, we didn't have Randall last time around against the Giants. Now, limited participant, we don't know. Game time decision, whatever. But, if he goes, that's a big boost because we know we expect to be missing Rollins. He did not. He's in the concussion protocol. Here's the good thing, guys. Rollins, basically the story is, he's in the concussion protocol, but he didn't break his neck is basically what it looked like happened. At least that's what the fear was, And then you find that, yes, he has movement, he's talking. Those are all great signs. And, concussions are, I'm not trying to minimize a concussion, because we look at the situation with Sam Shields. But, yeah, well, and Adam's saying Randall's getting burned all the time, but we need warm bodies at this point, is what I'm saying. And he's even as a rotational player, if we can get him in, maybe when these guys don't even go the whole game, at least part of the thing we saw at the end of when we defeated the Lions, we won the North, we went to the locker room. Jared Cook had never had never gone to a playoff before. He was ecstatic. But what did Mike McCarthy say about this team? He said this was not the best celebration we've had. Part of it, of course, is because they have higher hopes. But he said we were pretty gassed. So think about that. We want Randall to be able to play. I do, anyway. Aaron Ripkowski, full participant. Good to see Rip. Quentin Rollins, we talked about. Jason Spriggs was a full participant as well. All right, this is good news, guys. Joe Thomas did not participate. That's probably my biggest concern right now. Treader was a full participant. That's another good one. Look at the rotation back again, if we need it. Rip the Reaper. But Joe Thomas, man, I kind of feel for the guy. He's one of the guys that got injured kind of at the wrong time. Had a great season, I thought. I was hoping we'd get him back. We'll see. But it's been one of these nagging things, and apparently it's pretty, if you have something with your back, not sure exactly what that means. It's such a generalized term. But there's Otis is asking, is there a chance Sam Shields comes back for the playoffs? No. Thomas says we're going to miss Joe. Yeah, I mean, this is a game. I did my early scouting report, and I do want to give a shout out to Ryan. Ryan got on there and made a very thoughtful comment and was, I just wanted to say thanks, buddy. Very encouraging comment. And that was really good to hear. And so I want to give a shout out to Ryan. And he's on the Fire Fan. He says he says I'm not going to catch him. I'm coming for you, buddy. I'm coming. Shields coming back would have been awesome, but it's not going to happen. But Joe Thomas had a really good year as that kind of thumper, I think Blake Martinez, on third downs might help us out, depending on what package we put in, if we put in that nickel or the dime. But I'm expecting that he's not going to be able to go. Extremely important, that's where I was getting to the early scouting report. We talked about this. I gave up a few of them, stopping for the, if my prediction that on defense, it's going to be the defensive front and the linebacker core. It's a 3-4, so I kind of group them together. If my prediction is correct about that, it starts with stopping the run, number one priority. And the Giants, part of the Giants' success has been this Paul Perkins guy and running the ball better. So we have got to stop the run, and man, would it be nice if Joe Thomas could go. Maybe we are without him. I think Jake Ryan has done I was a huge fan of Jake Ryan early on. He's had some shot plays. He's had some splash plays. Martinez then came on in the last game, I thought. Well, of course, he had the sack in the last game. Showed a little ability in that sack. I like that. Sniff out the quarterback. That requires some instinct, and it requires the trust of your defensive coordinator to put you up in that situation. So, I'm still positive, very positive, but I'd love Joe Thomas to get out there and lay the smack on Perkins and this Giants running game. So the defensive backfield is definitely a situation that we're going to have to monitor. Micah Hyde playing the outside is definitely not the thing we want. we're decimated is about the only way, with McIntyre also. And I didn't see him on the list. McIntyre Dorient. So maybe he's okay. Not sure. Maybe he's on IR. And we brought up the guy from the practice squad. Mike McCarthy is very high on him. The name is escaping me right now. I'm sure you guys have it probably in front of you. So, yeah, the defensive backfield is still a concern. And part of the reason that I think it's absolutely going to be the case that it's the defensive front that wins or loses this game on defense is for that very reason. So, yeah, we have to. Trent says he's out. Okay. Yeah, it came to me later that I'd seen he went on IR. That's right. Again, is anyone reminded of 2010 when this kind of stuff happens? Phillips got Shepard as a dark horse. Yeah. This is the kind of thing. Okay, and we need to talk, all right, guys? Ted Thompson talk alert, all right? So all the haters, we need to talk about this, because if Ted Thompson had not chosen players partly due to their versatility, we would not be where we are today. With all the injuries we had, and in 2010, same thing. If Ted Thompson had not chosen players with an eye toward versatility, and you sacrifice something with that, because Micah Hyde can play outside cornerback, but he's not the best. You're not gonna spend $100 million on him. You're not gonna pay him like you pay $4 million a year to Shields or whatever it is over 4 years to be a lockdown corner. He's a situational guy. But if we didn't have Micah Hyde on this team, we wouldn't be where we're at because of the situation starting very early in the season with Sam Shields. So I got to give credit where credit is due. I'm not a Ted Thompson hater. I'm critical of him at times. And for the same reasons as everybody else in Packer Nation. It's nice once in a while. Go after somebody and get them. But when you do that, what you get is a specialist. You get a pass rushing specialist. Other teams looking for a quarterback. So if we did not have the versatility we have, and now we've got a wide receiver playing cornerback. If we didn't have the versatility we have, we would not be where we are today. We would not be the champs of the North. We would not be looking to beat the Giants. We would not be wanting to go further. Which brings up, LB's commenting, and I think today is the day he's saying Wolf interviewing down in San Francisco. Emoji me your thoughts, guys. Elliott Wolf is interviewing for a job outside of Green Bay. Is it just leverage? Or is all the talk that Ted Thompson is ready to make a move and let Elliott Wolf take the reins? Is just talk, and he knows it, and he knows he's never going to get this job, and he needs to move on. Lots of angry faces, sad faces. I don't know. Just because he's offered it doesn't mean he'll take it. But look at the opportunity there. You got a new coach coming in. You basically are built from scratch. My feet hurt because everybody's wanting to talk to me right now. But yeah, look, Wolf turned around a franchise and went to the Hall of Fame. Elliott Wolf is looking at the possibility of doing the exact same thing as his dad in this situation. Starting absolutely from scratch. Coaching staff. And I wouldn't say he has a quarterback already. High draft pick. Were they picking second? 49ers picked second, I believe. You couldn't ask for a better situation for a new GM wanting to. I mean, my CD has a scratch. Yeah. I just try to wait a little bit and then it clears up. Keep Wolf move yeah, exactly, Mike. I completely agree. I think it's the perfect solution. But the problem is Ted Thompson has to look in the mirror and say, listen, I hate getting the pressure of doing the interviews. I love doing the personnel evaluations. Let's just get this done. And I hate doing press conferences. I love going to the scouting combine. I mean, think about it. There would be a sense in which I would call the Packers, the top brass of the Packers, a two-headed monster if we had Elliott Wolf as GM and Ted Thompson as a senior scouting advisor, still directing, and it would help Elliott in his job, and it would allow Ted Thompson to do what he does best. Somebody here from Belgium? Did I miss it? Gary's giving you some love, whoever you are out there. It was, maybe you were here yesterday, because I think there was somebody from Belgium yesterday. We get people from all over the place. Part of the reason I actually do this a shade later. Trevor says Ted's not an asset. I disagree. I think Ted's absolutely an asset. We would not have won the North if Ted, like I said, we wouldn't. You can argue with me if you want, I guess, but we wouldn't be where we are if Ted Thompson hadn't drafted and chosen players and kept players based on, to a great extent, we are known for this, their versatility. Ted Thompson is absolutely an asset to this team. The part where it gets to where people hate on him is one thing. He doesn't spend tons of money in free agency. And I'm with him. I'd like to spend a little bit more, but guess what? You are more likely to screw your club than to make them great by overspending in free agency. Look at the team we're playing on Sunday. How much money did they spend to get a pass rush on MVP Aaron Rodgers? How much of a pass rush did they get on MVP Aaron Rodgers last time around? Now, if they kill us this time around, yeah, whatever. One of them's sitting on the sideline. And Vernon Davis is going to have a little bit of a struggle against David Bakhtiari. And our offensive line, if you want to characterize our offensive line, we have versatility. What happened when J.C. Treader went out? Did we miss a beat at center? It's been argued that we actually got better, that part of our run was because Corey Linsley went in. I don't think that's the case. I mean, it'd be hard to determine that the center position, I think it was a seamless transition is what it was. And extremely important to stay the course, but I don't think he was the one that makes or breaks our run. Our versatility, however, does make or break our run. If we didn't have a Corey Linsley that could come in, we could have been destroyed out there. Center is extremely important position. Look what happened when Brian Bulaga went out. Bulaga, having a great year, goes out in a critical game. Not critical for the playoffs, but a critical game for us. Maybe critical is the wrong word to use, but extremely important. We wanted to win that game for more than just the game itself. Team involved, et cetera, et cetera. Brian goes out. Jason Spriggs, a rookie, comes in. Jason Spriggs played guard this year. Is anybody out there seriously going to believe that Ted Thompson is not an asset for trading to get Jason Spriggs as a rookie comes in and plays guard when we need to, that he's never played before? His body type isn't even fit for it. His body type screams tackle, not guard. It's a Ted Thompson pick. I'm not super sure of all of Ted Thompson's number one picks either. But, and of course we've got the Fire Ted already going. I hear it every year since the first year he came, so. Yeah, I'm not. I think the perfect way to go is to make sure Ted Thompson does what he does best and stays with us. Because remember, Ted Thompson goes to another team, and just watch. They'll be consistently improved. They may not be, if he doesn't have a quarterback like ours fall in his lap, which is basically what happened. Bryce is on. Yeah. I mean, people are, you're entitled to your opinion. If Some people want Ted just fired. Run him out of town. Tar and feather the guy. I'm not one of those. There are times when, I see moves like in this offseason, it was probably when we didn't get Forte. I was like, and man, we could have used Forte this year, let me tell you. I really wanted to see Forte. I thought Forte would be a nice compliment to Eddie Lacy. But you never know where it all lies, where the decision lies either, because the player has to sign the contract. So, all right. Well, guys, yeah, this cornerback situation, we'll keep an eye on that. It's looking, a little bit more positive. Obviously, we know we could be 100% healthy, and I don't think Packer Nation would trust the defensive backfield 100% anyway, But, yeah, we want to get as many people healthy as we can. Having a rotation is extremely important. That way, even if you have a guy that pretty much locks down a position, if he's not playing well, at least you have an option there. We were running out of options, When we have Micah Hyde, going in at the outside cornerback position, it's getting way too interesting in the Packers' defensive backfield. And Trent saying, yeah, Forte was banged up all year, and Powell played a lot in New York. Yeah, Forte, and I think Forte would have had a lot more success had he run behind our offensive line and played with Aaron Rodgers, who is extremely dangerous. But hey, if he goes somewhere else, when a guy that I wasn't super high on him, but I thought it would be a nice addition. But when he goes somewhere else, I kind of keep an eye on him, and I'm like, yeah, I want you to crash and burn. So I'm cool with it. Jets are floundering. Packers are playing the Giants to keep going. Guys, I'm glad this game is at Lambeau. I think we have an opportunity to really make a statement that we're for real. Of course, Roger. And Trent's making the comment, free agents are a crapshoot. And then, of course, we hear from Roger. Mandrich. Oh, man. Well, and Pat's making the comment, Ted Thompson doesn't sign free agents, which we understand it's a emotional statement because it's absolutely not true, literally. I mean, does anybody remember a guy named Jared Cook? Maybe I should look him up. Can somebody Google the name Jared Cook for me? But yeah, Pat, I agree. I'd like to see him do more, especially because when he pulls the trigger, he's generally done a fairly decent job with Charles Woodson. So again, yes, he does sign free agents. The problem people really have is, oh, I'm not even going to get into Jared Cook as a mediocre tight end. I'll let you guys handle the comment that Jared Cook's a mediocre tight end. The only problem I have with Jared Cook is that he's his availability from time to time. All right. Yeah, well, big matchup coming up. Eli Manning versus Aaron Rodgers. Ben McAdoo versus Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, did you guys catch Mike McCarthy saying on the phone call to the Giants, it was basically saying when we beat the Giants? And that is freaking hilarious, and I love it. Heart it up if you love and McCarthy says it in press conference from time to time anyway. Love it when McCarthy gets on and just flat out says we're going to beat you. Kick the cuss out of the Bears, whatever he said a few years ago. Now we got to back it up. Because the Giants have some weapons. Eli Manning has been here before. He's been to Lambeau before. He's played in the cold before. Good old Beckchild down in sunny Florida. I hope he enjoys the climate at Lambeau. I hope you enjoy it up there. Son, you're going to get schooled. OBJ going to get schooled. It's going to be nice and cold for you. Enjoy it. All right, folks. My feed is going down. I'm going to let you guys go for today. We'll get back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Prediction Friday already, guys. Get your predictions ready. We are going to lay it all on the line and see whether this Packers can do it. And then we'll roll into weekend. And hopefully another Packer win. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Same Pack time, same Pack place. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Go Pack.